Now let us solve this question on mechanical operations. So the question says that a batch settling experiment is performed in a long column using a dilute dispersion containing equal number of particles. Okay, this data will be important for us. Equal number of particles of two types of particles, let us say type A and type B, in water. So the medium for this experiment for both types of particles, the medium was water, okay, whose density is given to us, and the experiment was conducted at room temperature. Some information about the type A particles are given to us, that those were spherical and diameter is given, density of that particle is given. Similar information is given for type B particles. Now this assumption is given to us, that assuming that Stokes law is valid throughout the duration of the experiment, then the settled bed would. Now we are to comment on the nature of the mixture formed between the two types of particles. Okay, so how to proceed? Solution. So whenever we see this line, this assumption is given to us that we are to consider that Stokes law is valid throughout the duration of the experiment. So in the Stokes law regime, we know that the terminal velocity is given by the formula g d square upon 18 mu rho p minus rho. This is acceleration due to gravity, this is the diameter of the particle, this is the viscosity of the fluid, this is the density of the particle, this is the density of the fluid. Okay, so now let us calculate this value for type A particles. Okay, so Vt for type A will be, let us don't substitute the values, let us keep it as G as G only. Okay, but dP let us substitute, so it is given as 30 micrometer, 30, and let us don't change the unit of the dP to meter, let us keep it as 30 only, and for type B also we'll keep it as 30 so that we can compare it. If you change here 30 micrometer to meter, then you have to, when you will be calculating for type B, then there also you have to change micrometer to meter, but I'll keep it as micrometer in both the cases. Okay, so 30 square upon 18. Mu of water is not given in the question, let us just keep it as mu only. So density of the particles for type A is 1100 and density of the fluid is given as 1000. So it is coming out to be some constant multiplied by this 30 square, which will be 900. 1100 minus 1000, it is 100, and this K is how much? G divided by 18 mu is our K. Okay, okay, now let us calculate for type B. The formula will remain same, G d square by 18 mu rho p minus rho. Again G by 18 mu is same. Now mu is not changing because mu is the viscosity of the fluid, and in both the experiments we are using water as the fluid, so this will be K only as I have taken here. And this dP in the second case, what is our diameter of the particle? It is 10 micrometer, and again as I said before that I will not change the unit of dP, so 10, I will keep it in micrometer only, 10 square. Rho p is how much? 1900 minus rho is how much? 1000, so it will be K into 100 into 900. So this was for A, this is for B. So friends, can you see that these two expressions and this one, these are equal, k into 900 into 100, k into 100 into 900, which means that the terminal velocity for both the types of particles are same. So we can say that the mixture will consist of a homogeneous mixture of type A and type B particles, since the terminal velocity for both the types of particles are same. Had it been like different for both, like suppose for type A it would have been more, or for type B it would have been lesser, so some different values if we would have got, then accordingly we would have to select the different options. But here, as because we are getting the same values, so the mixture will be homogeneous mixture of type A and type B particles. Okay, so this is our final choice. Hope you all have understood. Thank you. Okay, so the next question is, seawater is passed through a column containing a bed of resin beads. Okay, so the density of seawater is given to us, then the density of resin beads is also given to us, diameter of the resin beads is given, then the void fraction of the bed at the onset of fluidization. So this onset of fluidization is very important, which means that the fluidization has just started. This is also called as incipient fluidization, when the fluidization has just started. Okay, at that point the void fraction of the bed is 0.4. Acceleration due to gravity is given. Okay, now what we have to calculate is the pressure drop per unit length of the bed at this condition of fluidization, which is the incipient fluidization. Okay, so at the condition of incipient fluidization, we have the following relation, which is del P by L is equal to rho P minus rho into G into 1 minus epsilon. This condition is valid for incipient fluidization. So what we have to calculate? The pressure drop per unit length of the bed. So this we have to calculate. This is equal to rho P. What is the density of the particles? Yeah, it's given as 1330 minus. This rho is the density of the fluid. What it is here, our fluid is what? Seawater. It's 1025. G we are to use 9.81. 1 minus, what is the void fraction at the incipient fluidization? 0.4. So yeah, this was a very easy question. So on calculating this minus this into 9.81 into 0.6, finally we will get our answer as 1795 Pascal per meter. And yeah, mind you, we are to report the final answer in the nearest integer, so you will get obviously 1795 point something something, so the nearest integer will be this much. So this is our answer. Thank you.